Good afternoon. My name is Oliver Westmoreland. I am an ISC registered level 3 immigration advisor and I am senior immigration lawyer with GSN Immigration. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon so you can continue to watch our extremely interesting videos about UK visa and immigration advice. Today's topic is, well, it relates to a particular case that happened in the High Court. More generally, it's about illegal working, breach of conditions, the possibility of severe punishment, as we shall see. This is about a case. A lady, she was an Indian national, Ms. Andrews. She had successfully acquired care worker, skilled worker visa. She came to the UK. This was a while ago, actually. It was in June 2023. Now, you may know when you have a skilled worker visa that the visa can start before the job starts. You can have a few weeks in the UK to sort of settle down and sort yourself out and everything. This is what happened in her case. She, according to the facts, as reported in the court case, she entered the UK on 8th of June 2023. The job was supposed to start on 1st of July 2023. Well and good. But on 28th of June, something rather strange happened which upset the whole scheme. She was discovered working behind the counter in an off licence in well, actually it was Andover in Hampshire. This didn't quite fit into the right thing. Care worker doesn't normally work in an off licence. Well, not in my experience anyway. It was a bit strange. And of course, also her job hadn't started yet anyway. She was discovered and detected by Home Office investigators. Maybe it was an intelligence-led operation. We don't know this from the court case, but they were there. They saw that she was working behind the counter in this off-licence in Andover in Hampshire. They ascertained her immigration status and they thought she was on the wrong side of the rules. Well, not surprisingly, perhaps. She said, mixed information, but looks like she said that she was working there as a volunteer. Now, this is a special English word. It means you don't get paid. She was working as a volunteer to help out a friend, and that therefore her working there was quite legal and fine. One of the co-owners of the shop, either he was there or he was summoned. He got there. He spoke to these Home Office investigating people. He said, "Oh, her working there was just a technicality." Now this made some of us laugh, but that's what he said. It was just a technicality. He said, "Oh, it's nothing bad. It's technicality. It's fine." Anyway, they weren't amused by this. She was arrested, detained, and the Home Office cancelled her visa. This is what happens. You're working in a way which is very badly in breach of conditions. This is what's going to happen. Now, just going outside just a bit, there are some rules. If you hold a skilled worker visa, you can work in supplementary employment, but this is very controlled. You can work for 20 hours per week in supplementary employment, but it has to be work which is in one of the appendix skilled occupations on the Home Office website. You can't just do any job. It has to be one of those proper jobs, which I think probably it wasn't. Anyway, she hadn't started her job in any case, so that really wasn't going to work. She said she was a volunteer. Well, to my mind, very surprisingly, she applied for a judicial review and it was granted. I would have thought it was a very, very weak case, but surprisingly, it was granted. Because with judicial review, you always need permission. You can't do anything without permission. It was granted. Judicial review takes ages and ages and ages and ages. This happened in 2023, as we know. The court hearing at the High Court judicial was actually December 2024. Long delay. The court decision didn't tell us. I think she was detained, definitely true. She was released, definitely true. I imagine and presume she was in the UK all that time. How she lived and survived, I don't really know, but it seems to be that way. Anyway, the court hearing at the High Court was in December 2024. It didn't go terribly well. The court didn't really have to deal with the issue about supplementary employment because she wasn't working in her main job yet. Anyway, it wasn't an issue in the court hearing. The issue was, could she be working as a volunteer? Now there is a legal definition of a volunteer. The court pointed out quite correctly, a volunteer is someone who's working for a charity, a voluntary organisation, a fundraising body, or something official and proper and nice like that. Off licence doesn't really come on the list, I'm afraid to say. How it got to the High Court to me is a mystery. I think completely totally obvious, but you know, sometimes lawyers convince their clients, and sometimes lawyers convince the High Court that it's a good case. How it got there, I don't know, but it didn't. High Court said, like, look, she was not a volunteer. She wasn't working for a proper, nice organisation. Look, Mr. Shah, let me tell you, I've been a volunteer in my life. I used to work for the National Trust, and you could be a volunteer. I mean, not that I was under immigration control, but that's a volunteer, someone like that, who works in one of these official, nice organisations. You don't get paid. You may get travel expenses. You don't get paid. It's a nice sort of job to help people and oil the wheels of society in this. Working in an off licence is just trying to make an off licence and make profits. It's not quite the same thing. High Court didn't have any time for this argument, but they put it in. This is what they say. The decision was, well, there were three decisions, weren't there? The decision to arrest her and then the decision to detain her and the decision to cancel her visa. Why it got to the High Court was because there was detention. Otherwise, it would have gone to the Upper Immigration Tribunal. Because there was detention, it went to the High Court. That was the reason it got as high as that. I think the High Court is actually a lot slower, so maybe not always a good idea, but that's why it happened. They said that the decisions were fair and lawful. They put it in the proper language of judicial review. The decisions had not been outside the range of reasonable decisions. This is the real language of judicial review. Decision is not outside the range of reasonable decisions, then it's okay, then the claim must fail. So I think most of us would have predicted that, but that's what happened. And so I guess she's been removed and she's gone. It just goes to show, we knew this already, Home Office is very ruthless. Once they get their teeth into your, absolutely completely ruthless, and then we go all the way to the High Court and everywhere. That's a story. A sad story, I suppose, but we come across these things every week of the year, probably. Mr. Shah, do you have any? You've been very quiet so far. Do you have any questions?
Not many questions about this, but yeah, I would.
Unusual.
I would like to remind the viewers that being granted the skilled worker visa and actually starting your job, there is difference between the two, and one has to be careful about doing any supplementary work, which is quite important.
Well, I think you can't do supplementary until you started doing the job, really, can you? Because you haven't started the job.
Exactly.
So there's nothing to supplement.
Exactly, and supplementary only kicks in when your main job kicks in.
Yeah,
if the main job is not there, then there's no supplementary.
I never thought so, yeah.
And they can't do any job that they may be able to find. It has to be a particular job.
Yeah, there are different issues. I can't see that you can start the supplementary job before you start the actual job. That doesn't make any sense. It didn't really figure very large in this case, but it was mentioned in the court hearing. But to me, that doesn't make sense. You can't start the supplementary job until you actually start the main job. That doesn't make sense. But also, she wasn't a volunteer. Anyway.
True. Well, am I right that you've written a blog about this?
Yes. Strangely enough, you have correct information for a change. I have written a blog that appears on your website. Probably published maybe tomorrow.
I think it's already published.
Oh, okay. You're ahead of me.
And you've used your new writing instrument to write it.
Yes. The pen is mightier than the sword, or in this case, the pencil.
Fantastic. Well, we really enjoyed today's vlog, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you next time. Goodbye for now.